has been a hot minute since I last recorded a video, even more so since the last time you saw my beautiful bookcases in the background. But let's get into my July goals, my June wrap up, and look at how Q3 went and kind of check up on my yearly goals. Hi, my name is Dawn Dalton. I am an independent author with a day job, and it feels like the months are just flying by. And with that means that I'm not recording nearly as often as I should be. Part of that being the fact that our puppy Mary is still Captain Crazy Pants on the evenings that my husband isn't home, which is when I would normally record. And either I have to go record elsewhere, or as it's been happening a lot, I haven't been recording at all. So let's get into it. Let's go over June goals, how Q2 went, do a little bit of a mid-year checkup on my yearly goals, set my plans for Q3 and for July. Let's get rocking. June was not so great, if I'm gonna be honest, for my goals. I don't even have an excuse for why things didn't happen the way they were supposed to happen. Like, it just didn't happen. So for my regular goals, it was write 100 blocks. I wrote 45. I think that's a new low record for my writing for a month, and that is not a record I want to break. Fill one notebook, I got super duper close, but I was still a few pages short of finishing a notebook. Crossing my fingers that in July I can finish multiples, but we'll see. Obviously I paid my bills. My daily habits were at 55%, and that was, again, just barely. There were quite a few days where I only did like the bare minimum of goals or of habits, just because I got lazy or I got busy and didn't think about them until I was getting ready for bed. Post for YouTube videos. I posted one. Again, a lot of that being, if I'm here in the evenings alone with Mary, it is really hard to record until after she's gone to sleep, and by then it's 9:30, 10 o'clock, and my brain is completely gone by then. Write 4 blog or Medium posts. This is the last time this is going to show up on my monthly goals, because I didn't do it again. And I have to figure out exactly why that is and if I even care. And from the fact that this is the 6th month in a row where I haven't posted anything, I think the answer is pretty obvious, in that it is just not important in the phase I'm in right now for me to actually get it done. Read 4 books. I got 3. Finish a skein of yarn. I did not do that. Complete 4 workouts. Now that one I did do with some extras. One of the things I also did in June is I foolishly, stupidly signed up to do a marathon next year at the end of February with my best friend, and now I have to train for a marathon. I've completed one before, and only trained kind of for a half, so I'm gonna actually train for real this time. For the yearly goals that I chose for the month, I did not record the write with me. Again, see puppy. I did do my Q2 audit for my schedule, and it was not great. I did do the refresh for the ASL alphabet, so I'm really happy that I finally prioritized that. I got my hair trimmed. I did take a self-care day. That is the first time this year that I can say that. After much drama, I finally got around to putting aside the time to take a bath with some really awesome bath salts from one of my internet friends and just relaxed with a book, and it was good. I did not organize my computer bookmarks, but I did make the cover and send Roll of the Dice to my alpha readers and my beta readers. So super happy about that. Now on to Q2. As you can expect, Q2 for goals did not go super great. I did complete a self-help or craft book. I should have DNF'd it early and moved on, but that's fine. I did fill 2 of the 3 notebooks I was supposed to fill, and I finished edits on Roll of the Dice and sent it to my alpha reader and my beta readers. We are closing in on getting Roll of the Dice published. I am just waiting for the last little bit from my beta readers, so I'm crossing my fingers for an August release. So goal 1, I only did 2 of my long list of things that I wanted to do for my writing. I obviously didn't get my bonus of actually publishing my book, but we're not going to beat ourselves up about it. Goal 2, to grow my freelance career by actively posting to my social media blog and Medium platforms to grow my following by 5, 15, and 25%. Not a single darn thing got ticked off on there. The important part is actively, and I fell out of doing shorts and reels and any kind of posts with regularity, and you can tell because all of my things have stagnated. Goal 3 is to be healthy and productive in my life by eating healthier and exercising more. I, again, didn't do anything that's on that short list because I did not make it a priority. I am now making it a priority because if I don't, it's going to take me forever to get to the end of my marathon. But really, how am I doing for the year for my goals? And this is something that I've been trying to do, where I check back in on my goals to make sure that I am moving the needle forward, even if it is in the tiniest way possible. And I am still really behind on where I wanted to be for the year. I did redesign my website. I didn't do a whole heck of a lot with it, but it's at least functional. I have finished writing 1 of 3 books. I'm actually really close to my goal for YouTube for followers, and I think a lot of that came out of February's big writer marathon. I have gone on 6 of 12 writer dates because I do try to schedule myself one every single month, whether I film them or not, or remember to edit them and upload them, or is a completely and utterly different topic. I have completed 1 of 4 online courses to further my writing / content creation career. I have ticked off the first of the mini goals for my savings. I have read 2 of my 4 craft or self-help books for the year. I have gone through my refresh of the ASL alphabet. I just now need to start learning actual words. I am 20 out of 52 books for the year, which is only 6 behind on where I should be in order to make it to 52. So not an insurmountable goal. For my physical health section, I don't have anything ticked off. Go me. I have a lot of my organizational / cleanup goals for my environment ticked off, which is the one section that I have been doing very well on this year. I have finished my Oceana Afghan, and I'm working on my red, white, and blue Afghan. I'm, in addition to doing a use it up year for stationery supplies, I am also doing a cleaning out my yarn stash and using up things that are left over from previous projects. I made a red, white, and blue Afghan for a friend and had a couple skeins left over, and now I'm mixing that with some metallic yarn and making a little bit of a lap blanket. I don't know what I'm going to do with it when I'm done, which is probably why I'm slacking on getting any of it done. For my use it up year, I am doing so good. This is how much stuff I've used. That is how little I've bought. One of the big things with my use it up year is that for every 2 items I use, I am allowed to buy myself 1, but I still want to be in a deficit by the end of the year. I have a sneaking suspicion that when I go to Gen Con, a couple of these categories will be upside down, but I'm going to try my best to hold myself to using up 2 for every 1 that I get by the end of the year. Now, on to Q3 goals. My 3 goals are the same: working on my writing career, posting content, and working on my physical health. The only thing that's really changing this quarter is what items I am working on as far as my writing career. And that is, I am working on the first draft of Picking Up the Pieces, which is the 4th and final book in the House That Gaming Built series that I've been writing for the past few years. I'm also drafting the 3rd book in another series. That one right now is just for fun, and like all of the books are just in the very, like, I kind of have an idea of what I'm doing, but it's going to take a while for them to fully become cohesive. I want to edit Love in the Shadows. That is my standalone martial arts book that came about because one of my friends was like, oh, you know, it'd be really cool. And one of these days she is not going to say that, and I'm not going to have any more really awesome ideas. I'm also working on my romantasy draft, just because I kind of feel like I need a bit of a change of pace just so that I can keep the ideas flowing. I also want to publish Roll of the Dice this quarter, which we shall see. I was going to say this book has taken the longest, but Game On took 5 years to write and edit, so, but this is the longest that I have been in like the end stages of a book. And on one hand, it really bothers me that it has taken me this long, and on the other, I look at what happened last year that put me off track and going, there's no need to beat myself up about it. So we're not going to beat ourselves up about it. But on to July. And as always, my goals are not fully changing. I want to write 100 blocks. I want to fill 1 notebook. I want to pay my bills, daily habits at 55%, post 4 YouTube videos, read 4 books, finish 1 skein of yarn, and complete 4 workouts. I am not going to put anything extra in this month. And there is a very good reason for that. I have 2 big work events this month, one that takes me on a trip to Wisconsin, and one that is in town but is going to take up a lot of time, and I'm going to be working extra hours. And then at the end of the month, I'm going to Gen Con, completely and utterly as a fan, because I no longer have my freelance writing gig in the industry. So it's going to be different to just go as a fan, and I have set myself up with a bunch of fun activities to do while I'm there. If you've been enjoying watching me set my goals and see which ones I achieve, be sure to feed the algorithm, boop that like button, and subscribe. And I will see you next time. Bye.